I've been doing photography seriously now for about 6 years, and videography about a year and a half, or right around there. But really more so in the last 6 to 8 months, just really nailing it down, being like, here are the things I want to do. Yes, I want to shoot commercials. I want to shoot, small documentaries. I want to shoot music videos. So it's just been like really as of lately where I've been like, okay, well, I have all this knowledge of how to do photography and kind of run a photography business. Let me just throw all of that knowledge right at videography, and it's working.
So if you think about when you first started, because I remember us having some conversations when you first were thinking about buying your first initial cameras. What was it like when you discovered that you actually had this passion for photography? Can you talk about when it happened, when it hit you that it was more than just something that occupied your time?
I had in my early 20s, I had gotten a camera. It was a old school Sony, man. It actually took a little mini compact disc, like a CD. You'd put it in the camera, and it would record onto it. So that was like my first start with photography, and I did that because of a job I had gotten. And then it was years before I really ever started getting into photography. I always had the point and shoots and would, play around with things like that. But it was, I'd say right around 2013, 2014, where I'm working in my corporate job in California. I'm on the grind every day, and I'm just realizing it's not working for me. Like, there's no joy in what I was doing. Like, even I was commuting and working so much, there was no time to enjoy anything, and I knew I had to change it. So like me being creative, okay, what do I want to do? I had two options in my head. Comedy or photography. So I was like, comedy is way too brutal, and so let me go with photography. So that's kind of where my divide lied. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw everything at photography. I had hit you up, talked to you about cameras, and actually my first camera was an old Canon, one of like their first digitals, like maybe I think it was all of 8 megapixels, and that at the time, and that was like revolutionary. So I got my hands on that. A good buddy of mine sold that to me, and from there I just haven't set a camera down. Within 6 months I got my first full frame camera, and yeah, it's been just one thing after another of just teaching myself things, and it's self-exploration, and even teaching myself I can do things that I never thought I could do before. And so all of those things tie into creativity in a way of you want to bring things out of you, and whether that's you want to be, hey, you want to go talk in front of people, and you got to get creative to be able to do that, or there's many ways to use that creativity, but essentially it's always pulling out of you.
So think about like one of the things when you got to the place that you understood how, because as a photographer, there's a lot of this out of control, right? Understanding how the lights and background of subjects, and when you started to really understand that, what's some of the things that surprised you that you were able to pull off creatively within your photography?
Wow. Still to at this point today, one of my favorite, most impressive shots to myself, when I look at it, is a tribute I did to the 9/11 firefighters, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's see. One of my most impressive, or at least impressive to me, photos, I should say, is a tribute I did to 9/11 firefighters. And it was one of those things where it had been rolling around in my head for, I don't know, a couple years. And it was just finally I got to the point where I had enough technical skill, the right equipment, and I had been networking so much. I had the connections to actually have a firefighter come and be on set. So with all of that coming together, you know, it was an beautifully impressive shot. And I don't know, like, honestly, I haven't even really shown it or putting it out there that much. You know, it sits there on my Instagram, but like, it's just something, you know, I created out of my own head for me, and I love looking at it. It's one of my favorite shots.
So can you talk about that? Because that's one of the things with when it comes to photography, and also when you're an image maker, is sometimes you get accustomed to making things for other people, but every now and again you make something and you're kind of in awe of the thing. And what does it feel like when that thing is something you created? Like, what is that like to you?
Yeah, you know, there's when you absolutely know you've nailed it when, you know, you're looking at that image or video, sculpture, or whatever, and you're just like, you don't know how you could have done it any better, and you honestly know you've thrown everything you have at it. Like, I've thrown my best, my absolute 100 best, and there's nothing more, you know, there's nothing more I could have put into it, you know. And let's see, where was I going with that? I don't know, I lost the thought.
Yeah. One of the things too when you're in this space is that you're assisting people in making them look their best, whether it's video, whether it's photography. You're kind of assisting people in ensuring that what you're doing is to the best of their interest. When you are in a situation where there are like creative differences between your experience and the client's experience, what kind of things do you use to kind of lean on them to, one, it's not that you knock their ideas necessarily, but you understand what it takes to make great things in this space. So what are kind of some of the things that you usually will use in that space to try to help them understand that you're coming from a professional standpoint to ensure they look their best?
I want to say honesty, but you know, it really is honesty. And it's just coming from a truthful place of wanting to put out the best I can. And if I can do that, if you allow me to put out the best I can, I promise you, you're going to look the best you can. And it really, what builds that is just, you know, slow baby steps of trust. You know, whether it be from, like, let's say you start off a meeting and, you know, there's a creative difference of, well, I think we should go this way and this way. You just have to show, like, here's why I think this. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it might be either a compromise, or it might be let's do it both ways and we can look at it. But yeah, you know, you gotta, and I've been finding this with projects lately, you have to stick up for what you know creatively is right. And if you don't, number one, you're not gonna wanna continue to finish it or work on it. You know, it's gonna make it that much harder to do your job when you know something isn't right that could be, and you could have fixed it, but you know, that's a tough one.
So, you know, I agree. It's that's difficult. If you if you think about the last year, is there something you've learned about yourself in the last year that you think will have a big impact on the next 10 years of your life?
Something I've learned in the past year.
It could be something
Yeah,
in the last
yeah.
couple of years if it's not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah. And really, the thing, I'll say one of the most impactful things that I've learned in the past 2 years, and it's really driving the direction that I'm heading with my career, is just how absolutely powerful video is. Like, I was doing photography and I have a camera that can shoot video and everything like that, but really didn't understand how powerful it was until I started shooting and editing and putting together just like my thoughts in a video form, just how powerful that really is and how easily shareable that is. I mean, if you think about like communication and the way we talk with one another, just the fact that I can share a series and set of words with you, and then you can get your own ideas, your own pictures in your heads just from my voice is amazing. Yes, ESP would be great. I wish we could read minds, but hey, let's use the tools we have to communicate with one another the absolute best we can. So that's where video has taken me, and wanting to become a cinematographer and capture these beautiful, just basically capturing beautiful light. That's all I really want to do, is just capture beautiful light.
Let me think here. So think back to a recent project you were on, and think about when you were in the process of creating or capturing what you did. I mean, it could even be what you were working on here before.
The process.
Yeah, the process. So think about what does it feel like to when you're going through it, you're instructing, and then you start to see the positive images that you're creating. Like when you start seeing how they are, what does that feel like? And think back through even just recently.
Yeah.
And maybe, I'm sure it's different in the beginning than it is
Right.
now.
Yeah. It really, depending on the job, is how you go about it, and what the end goal is. Like, for instance, photo shoot I was working on today is basically, we're branding and using these images to promote a lifestyle and character for an artist. Does that artist normally wear X, Y, and Z on a daily basis? No. Hey, they might be wearing sweats at home, cooking up fried bologna. We don't know, but basically is, today was about taking someone out of their ordinary who am I, and making them into that character of a rock star or whoever it is they want to be. So the at least for my thought going into it is, what are, basically making someone look cooler than what they are in real life. That's what it is, because at the end of the day, we're all not cool, and we're all trying to put on an air and an image, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but it is what it is. So yeah, for this, it's starting out at like the end goal of, let's say, the viewer. What would I want to see? How, like, if I know this person is into rock music or goth trap music or this or that, what would I expect someone to look like? And I just go at it from that angle. I like directing. Yeah, and I've been realizing this lately. I want to get paid for my ideas and my vision. I mean, I don't mind doing the lay work, and I know I'm gonna have to for a while here, but realistically, that's what I want. I want to get paid for my vision and like, yeah, that's just that. I want to get paid for my vision, my idea, and then let me tell other people how to make this happen. That's where I want to be sitting in 10 years from now. But hey, baby steps. Right now, I'm still holding the camera.
Is there anything else you want to share about your creativity, your passion for creativity?
You know, I just want to say, like, if you want to be, I'm not saying everybody's going to be a Da Vinci, or not everybody's going to be a Michael Bay, or not everybody's going to be, this or that. But everybody can create. Everybody can create. And maybe, I don't know, maybe you've never created it. Maybe you don't feel like, you have any artistic bone in your body, this or that. Hey, if you're cooking, let's say, I don't know, design the macaroni and cheese and hot dogs into a smiley face. Start somewhere. We can all begin somewhere, and I truly think that if we all learn how to tap into that ability to create and pull things out of us, we will all start to be able to relate to one another a lot better and on a lot more deeper level than what we are now. Perfect.
Yeah.
I hope you can make something out of
That
that.
was good, man. We only have 22 minutes, man.
Perfect.
Yeah, we got good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff.